And I did have one question on here as well, is when we're going through all these grade levels, in regards to what people refer to as shutting down or the horse giving up, how is this program and what we're talking about, how is that different? So the horse freezes and freaks out or shows a little bit of tremble when it comes to an object, and we get into desensitizing later. What's the difference between that and shutting down?
Okay, so shutting down refers to when they get their feet stuck and then they pop and explode. What we're looking to do is show that horse how to freeze up, them find that release there, and then us being able to move them and maneuver them the way that we want. So a lot of times when we are talking about freezing up, or they're talking about flooding, what they're talking about is flooding is whenever you tie something to the horse and you let them run until they physically can't run anymore, until they're physically exhausted to the point that they give up. It's not what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is a little 3-year-old, 5-year-old, well, I don't know how old this is, this old of a kid and the shallow end of the pool. I'm drowning. Oh, help, help. Stand up. Oh, sorry. They weren't drowning. They just didn't stand up in the shallow end of the pool. It's the same thing. With these horses, what we're doing here, they are in zero danger. There's zero danger. Let's repeat that again. Come back, come back. Zero physical danger here. So everything is mental hurdles. Am I worried about them going through mental hurdles? No, I am not. Mental hurdles are a lot easier than physical hurdles that are out there in real life. In here, there's no real repercussions. This is, you have good footing, you have somewhere enclosed, somewhere that you know where it's at. You can have these conversations and show them how to deal with them moving around. You need to get it settled before you get out there. So many folks, the biggest issue they have is they train the horse for the perfect world in this round pen, and then whenever they go out and about, it's not the perfect world, believe it or not, and then they run into trouble. So think about this like resistance training. If that horse gets a little uncomfortable, if that horse jumps, if that horse shakes, if that horse, if he kicks out, if he does anything funky, that's okay. This is the time to do that.
Okay, perfect. So let's move on. So in first grade, how do you stop them from pushing into you when you send them out?
Great question. It's all about protecting your space, and we can do that in a couple ways. Our lead hand is also the hand that stays in between their face and us. So this tells them to go to the right, this tells them to look here. This tells them to go to the right, this tells them to look here. So no matter how close I am,
show us your hands.
No matter how close I am, I'm getting this rein, and I'm gonna have the lead rope coming out of my palm, because if I was riding him, this is how I would be riding him. So he's already getting the same feel as if I was in the reins. And when I'm protecting my bubble, I'll point him here, I start popping that shoulder, my hand is between he and I. Where a lot of people mess up is they want to lead the horse through here, and look how that breaks the space down. They're like, here, go forward, and now the horse is in you. To keep that horse out of your space, keep that hand up, the same hand that you just showed them how to back up, keep it between you and the horse. Here, we can really get that steering wheel working. For this horse to be a bucking horse, he has to get his head straight. So here in first grade, if we can have that steering wheel working nice, if he can be soft as butter, if he can be easy, anytime he tries to pop my bubble, I'll put a hand in his face. If he tries to bring that shoulder towards me, I will lock my hand out towards his shoulder, and that will make his shoulder pop out. That hand in between you and him. The hand with the popper, that's to get him to move away from you. That is to get him moving forward. The hand that is leading him is the hand that tells him where you want his face. Horses don't want to run into you with their face. They want to take their face away from you and run into you with their shoulder like a football player. So as long as you can keep their face between you and their shoulder, number one, you're letting me know that the horse has a good steering wheel. Because steering is, he's moving forward and he can turn his face. He can turn his face. That's what we're looking for in first grade, is that to see if our vehicle, and that's what he is, our vehicle, has a steering wheel. Make sure that you're not leading him through that circle, because that will really draw that horse into your space. Keep that hand between you and him, and that's going to automatically give you space in your bubble.
So we have a bunch of examples of him going through this in the example series, where you can go through and see all these different horses and how they react. But I'm going to have him kind of go through the motions. So if this horse is just starting out, somebody wants to know their horse's neck is straight, they're looking away from him, but their ears on him. Is that passing?
No. That is not passing. Those ears will not save you. You can't steer the ears whenever you are driving the horse. To me, that is what the horse industry has been doing wrong for centuries, is they give the horse 15 foot and let that horse run, and the horse is running around with his nose outside. That's just busy work. There's no training happening. What I want is for that horse to show me, prove to me that you have a steering wheel. Prove to me that even if I pop on you, even if I touch you with this popper on your butt, that I can steer you and guide you. If you can't just reach over and pop your horse on the butt and control his head simultaneously, you better not kick that horse when you're in the saddle. Oh, wait a second, what are you doing in the saddle? You didn't pass first grade. So we want to make sure that the horse has that steering wheel and is willing to give. As first grade gets better and better, a lot of times the circle will get tighter and tighter. If your horse is that stiff, we might have to drive him from a little further out, like so. So I ask nicely, and if he moves off and he's straight, I'll pull on him, then I'll push on him. When I'm pulling on his face. When I'm popping with the popper. The popper keeps him going, pulling towards my belly button, pulling towards myself. It's what makes him want to look this way. Whenever I was doing this, he was just that kind of horse. He was just that kind of horse that was always straight. I would have got one that it was their first time for the Respect Series, but everything in there has already been humbled up and quiet, so this is what we have. But in the beginning, everything that's not beneficial to your health, your horse is here. The horse's back feet, which is their motor, their butt is driving. Bucking, running, rearing, everything their back feet are driving. Our ability to control that, they're the stiffest when they're straight. So we're making sure that that horse knows how to give his face. Our mantra is control the head, control the horse. If we can control his head, then we can move its butt and get its back feet to cross over. So this whole first grade is to see if the steering wheel works, to see if we can move their butt. So when I ask him to move off.
How does this differ, your body position? How does it differ from lunging?
From lunging.
Yeah, so like right now, some of the videos that people are sending, it looks like they're lunging their horse. You don't want speed, you want to walk. But
right.
Where are you pressuring to keep the movement going forward? The hindquarters, the shoulder?
Really, I want to drive that shoulder forward. There's where my energy goes. If that horse doesn't want to go for it, I'll reach back and touch his butt. But I don't want to keep the energy on his butt, because here, if I put the energy on his butt, I should be getting his back feet to move. So I want that horse so soft that we can cross over those back feet. That is ultimately what the repercussion for everything is. Take their motor away. It's just that simple. Not a one-range stop, not shut them down, redirect them and take their motor away. So the end all be all for what we're trying to do is get them so soft in the face that if they would try to rear with us, buck with us, run with us, we can take their face towards their butt and cross over their back feet. No matter how excited that they are, that we can lightly and easily see his back feet crossing, see that back white foot crossing over. So as he's going around and we're lunging, I don't want the attention to be here because that should make his butt move away. I want my attention to be looking at his face. Once he's going forward, I'm looking at his face, making sure that he's looking at me.
Is that what it takes? What does it take to pass and feel comfortable moving on in this grade?
Okay, so we're always trying to progress on where your horse is at, but the bare minimum is they should be able to move their feet and look at you. This horse is doing it really good today. We've been working on his canter. We've been working on stuff that's gotten him real soft. So he's really passing good. Not an A, we'll give him a B. But just to pass, the horse has got to move and look at you, have his nose pointed in your direction. If that nose is the other way and you can't control his attention, that he's looking here, he's looking there, he's dragging you around, you are not passing. If a horse drags you around on the ground, there is no magic pixie dust in your keister that's going to sprinkle on the saddle whenever you swing your leg over. If it's broken on the ground, it's going to be broken in the saddle. So we want to make sure that that horse is soft and easy from the ground, so that when we get on, we're going to have that same horse that's soft and easy.
Okay. How would you go about a horse that's never been through the grades and is very pushy, that is completely blind in one eye?
It's the same thing. People drive blind horses every day. I mean, every good driving horse there is with blinders on. Don't treat them special. Show them, hey, stay out of my space. Make it very obvious where your space is at. If you're working that blind eye, you may have to be quick to show them to stay out there. But you need to have left and right. Just because they're blind in one eye surely doesn't mean don't flex to the blind side, because they can get stiff on that side, and when they get scared, all they need is to lock up to one way, and the steering wheel is rendered useless. We need them to flex both directions.
Let's see, you already did. I'm feeling like I'm chasing my horse to lunge. How do I fix this? My horse has too much energy when they're doing this. They keep trying to trot or canter like a lunge. How do I bring that energy down and get them to walk? And do I want to walk?
Great question. Yes, we want to walk. It's more important that they give you their face and they look at you, but ultimately we do want them to walk. So much of it is in your body and where you're calling. Here, when I drive this horse forward, we'll get him a little excited real quick. All right, now to relax him, I'm gonna look at his face, not at his butt. I'm not gonna swing that hand or show him the popper unless he tries to stop. And I'm gonna slow my body down, and he's gonna slow to whatever speed I want. If you can't get the horse to have speed control here, you're not gonna get the horse to have great speed control under saddle. It starts here, them paying enough attention to you. You're looking here at their face in front of their drive line being where the cinch would go. Oh. This is the drive line. If I look behind that, I'm driving that horse forward. All my energy here drives that horse forward. When I look here, it makes that horse want to look at me, one, but two, it slows everything down. The next thing is anytime that he speeds up and I'm looking at his face, I'm going to call my hand across my belly button here. So I'll pull here and release, pull here and release, pull across my belly button. That's going to give me more bend. That's going to give me more bend, and that's going to slow my horse down and get in his way. The smaller the circle, the better the bend, the quieter your body, your attention on his face and not on his butt.
How do I give releases for them dropping their head, or how do I know if I'm holding too long?
Great.
So in this, when you start asking them to drop their head to get even more control.
So as we start dropping their head, so he's doing real good left and right, but now I would like him to get even softer and drop his head and get quiet. What I'm going to look to do is drive that horse right here. Look how I'm going to lower my hand, and I don't have to give a release. If he drops his head below where my hand's at, he finds his own release. So right here, obviously I can't hold his head down, but I can go ahead and start suggesting it. And the way that I do that is don't be the scarecrow. Look how my horse is different being a scarecrow. A scarecrow is your hand is stuck here. Look how that so many folks, their horse won't bend, but this is what they're doing with their arm. So you could do this all day and he's not going to want to bend more. You have to look for that bend. We have to ask him for that bend. We have to pull to the side of him. Drive him forward with this hand and ask him to bend with the other hand. And now you see how I'm starting to get his head to lower, 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 release. We're just looking for that horse to be soft and easy. Really, he's finding his own releases by coming away from that halter. So it doesn't have to be this magical, oh, I stopped at the perfect time. No, we're just not letting him lay on us. If he lays on us, we're trying to touch and release, touch and release, touch and release until he stops laying on us, until he gets light on it. And he really finds his own releases.
If first grade is give me your attention, my horse passes easily when we're doing the actual exercise in the arena. But when we're out and leading to get her attention is easily distracted from me.
Great.
What's the best correction in the moment?
Awesome. So the horse doesn't pay attention when you get out of there. That's the whole point. Great example, great question. The horse does everything in the arena because the arena is perfect. It's easy to be a good person in the perfect world. Unfortunately, we don't live in a perfect world. So that's what character is. When we talk about character, character is something that's sought after. Character is something that we look for in people and our heroes because character is doing the right thing when it's not easy. That's the same thing that I want in this horse. I'm trying to build River's character. I want him to do the right thing when it's not easy. So the neighbors are shooting guns over here and pop, 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 and he wants to look up and I'm saying, hey, pay attention. Us doing all this in the round pen with all the stuff going on is the same thing that you're asking. What do I do when it's not easy when I'm outside? Go back to kindergarten, back that horse up until the horse looks at you. When he's yelling for his friends, back that joker up until he says, yes, ma'am. And then ask for first grade, yes, ma'am. If you do this, if you set this up properly, your horse will never let you down. The horse will be there, will be at your beck and call, regardless of where you go. You spend all of your money, your savings and everything to get the truck, to get the trailer, to get the awesome horse, to go on the amazing vacation. You get there, the horse gets out of the trailer and says, oh my goodness, we're in a new place. And then your vacation sucks. To keep that from happening, we want to make sure that your horse can be driven right back to you. Yes, ma'am. So whenever you do this work in the arena, he knows that nothing changes when we leave this round pen. Whether it's groundwork or whether it's saddle work, the same horse that I have right here that's respectful, that's nice, that's kind, that's quiet, that's waiting for my next instruction, I expect the same thing out there. So if I walk him back to the barn when this video cuts off and he acts like a fool because we go out of the door, wherever we are, in front of whoever is in front of us, I will work that joker right there. So if we're in the parking lot, if we're on the way to the barn, if we're passing all the foals, if we're on the side of a trail, if you get my undivided attention, I will back you up and I will grab a hold of your face. Very quickly, you have a horse that you will never have to have that conversation. You can tell this because the best mothers in America can get all the children and the husband and the waiter to get quiet by going, they all have that same look. It's the same thing you want from your horse. Instead of us worrying about this horse bucking and instead of us worrying about what he's going to do, he needs to worry about us. We don't need to worry about him. You guys are predators. This is a prey animal. It's just natural that they should be worried about us. We shouldn't be worried about them. But they live such a wonderful life, and we're so nice and so kind to them. They live such a wonderful life that they don't care about the person in front of them, and they're worried about the rest of the world. That is a recipe for disaster.
Okay, so this next one's going to kind of take a couple of the questions all together. So my horse is locking up in the shoulder yield. How do I get more forward movement out of that? And the other question that kind of goes with the same thing, I asked my horse to step forward, and he steps sideways and side passes into me. How do I correct those two things?
Great. Okay, so in everything that we do, pretty much any maneuver I'll show you, it's going to be motion over maneuver. So if we're trying to get a shoulder yield, if we're trying to do something, it's trying to get their feet moving. So when I ask this horse to move off, I'm going to point his head this way. A lot of horses are just going to look at you and they're not going to point their head that way. Then I'm going to start swinging this rope here, and that rope is going to start coming his way until he moves. If he doesn't move and he stands his ground, that rope will start coming towards his side, towards his ribs, towards his shoulder, towards his neck. As that rope is going pop, 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 he's going to shy away from it. And whenever he shies away from it, takes a step, it's going to immediately release. So very quickly, when he sees that rope is not an empty threat. It is a promise. Buddy, I'm giving you all the chances in the world to just move on. That's why I hold the rope in a certain way and I swing overhanded like a buzzsaw. So if this does make contact, it doesn't kill all my momentum. In horsemanship, it's not one pop and see what happens, because if you pop and nothing happens, then you have bad timing. But if I come here and that horse doesn't move and I pop, 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 he steps away, he immediately gets a release. Very quickly, anytime that this rope starts moving, he's going to move away. So don't move the rope in any other way than vertical, straight over top of itself, so that you can go pop, 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 tap, 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 kiss, 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 and then start drawing that pressure from beside the horse, and it's going to start coming up, creeping up their body towards their face as it's tapping them until they want to shy away from that pressure. If you do it just like that, there's very few horses out there that are going to take that lead rope. Very, very few that you're going to need a stick or a crop or anything. But you have to mean it, and you have to be very direct to them. And again, we're bringing it here, and the quicker that you're moving it, the quicker that you're moving it,
Hey.
the quicker that you move it, the better your timing is. It's not one big pop on your horse and see what happens. They're 1,000 pounds. They get kicked by other 1,000-pound horses that have brass knuckles on. It's not about the power. It's about the persistence. It's that Chinese water torture. Drip, 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 drip. The second they move, they get a release. That's how you're going to get that horse moving. If you use it just like that, like a buzzsaw, and it doesn't touch them when they move, and it's touching them when they don't move, very quickly they're going to want to move that shoulder away. And if every time that shoulder comes in your direction, you light that shoulder up 15 times, and every time they step away, the pressure immediately stops. There's nothing more fair or kinder that you can do with your horse.
One other common mistake I see is when you go to ask the horse to do first grade, they let the horse move into them to start it out versus you being the one that moves their feet.
People think that when I say don't let the horse move you, that you can't move your feet. You can move your feet in one direction, forward. Forward is the way. In the animal kingdom, pick what animal you want. A little 5-year-old boy arguing with another 5-year-old boy in the sandbox. They puff up like two little banty roosters. They don't even know how to fight. They're putting their chest on each other and trying to get big. It's human nature. It's animal nature. This is the animal kingdom. So many times, one of my pet peeves in first grade is we're going to ask that horse to lunge. Okay, now, horse move. You already moved your feet. That horse is already saying, oh, I'm lunging you again. No. I want you to stand directly in front of them in the wrong place, you know. The books say, hey, come around, look at their butt. Even a wild, I can train a gazelle like that. Give me a gazelle, give me a zebra, give me anything. If I'm a predator and I look at their butt, they're going to go forward. That's not training. That doesn't tell me that I can ride that animal. What tells me that I can ride that animal is that I can guide that animal, that I can drive that animal. So I'm standing directly in front of him. Look, I'm even on the wrong side. When I point this way, I expect him to move. Another thing that happens sometimes is the horse likes to go backwards because he doesn't know the answer. Chase him. If he runs backwards, go forward until he wants to go forward. So what I don't want you to do is try to hold him. So you start popping on him. Don't try to play tug of war. No. Oh, you pull on me? Okay, fine. Fine. Very quickly, I can drive this horse wherever I want to go all over this round pen. But my feet move forward. My feet are going towards him. Think about this. You spend all your time, your effort for the better part of 2 decades raising your kid. Okay, then they go to Paris Island, then they go to the Marines. When they show up, they come from all walks of life, all backgrounds, all ethnicities, all parents. They show up, the bus stops, they have a welcoming committee. And the welcoming committee has lattes and iced coffees. And they say, oh, hi, young man and woman, here you go. Enjoy, welcome to the Marines. Rest up because tomorrow we start day camp. No, that's not what happens and you know it. You send your kid that you just spent 2 decades raising. He shows up, the brakes on the bus are squealing and there's 5 drill instructors in there saying, get off my bus, get off my bus. They're doing the kind thing and letting them know exactly what they expect from the very beginning. And what they're saying is, I don't care who you are, where you're from. I don't care how many parents you have, no parents, orphan, gay parents, whatever your background is, if you're rich, if you're poor, I don't care. Black, white, red, doesn't matter. This is what we expect of you. So much of our success in our program is just that we expect the horses to be on their best behavior. And it starts right here. To me, this is the root of success for our program is right here. Preschool, kindergarten, first grade, especially kindergarten and first grade. These are your biggest 2 steps. If you can already tell the horse, hi, get off my bus, stand here, move here, stop, and you're already directing that horse, then you can get a lot lighter and easier and quieter and nicer as it goes on, but you're being honest. People who want to ease into it, they're not being honest. When this horse, I put him out with that herd of mares, the first thing they're going to do is come up and smell each other, and they're going to take off running, bucking, and kicking. And they're not saying, oh, how cute, look, they're making friends. They are not making friends. They're deciding who's on top of the totem pole. And whether it takes 20 minutes or 2 days, they're going to keep squealing and running and kicking and biting until they figure it out. As soon as they figure out the hierarchy, they're going to go back to their favorite job, eating your money, getting fatter. That's their favorite job. Our program, we come into these clinics, we roll into town, spurs of jangling gold in our pocket, and we say, okay, we're going to come work these horses. They put the nastiest, biggest, baddest, toughest, meanest horse in front of us. We walk in the round pen. The first thing we do, so many places we don't have a round pen, so the first thing we do is put a halter on them and ask them to back up. Very first thing we do. We're the boss. Nice to meet you. The first thing that we're doing is getting that horse to move his feet backwards. As soon as we can get that horse backing up, that horse is already respecting our space and respecting us, then we're going to say, hey, now that you respect us, let's make sure that you don't run away from us. Kindergarten ensures that they respect you. Also, kindergarten ensures that you have breaks. First grade, make sure that you can get their attention, but also first grade ensures that they cannot run away with you. You want to get that horse facing you, looking at you. So kindergarten, make sure that they can't run away because you have breaks. First grade, make sure that they can't run away because you have their head and their butt and you have them soften the steering wheel. This is the basis, the key of success, and don't sugarcoat it. Go straight in there and tell them, hey, look how happy this horse is. I pushed him all over the place. Anybody sees this horse, nobody can say this horse is in distress. Nobody can say this horse is uncomfortable. I just pushed this horse around all over the place. He just come from a loving home. His mother loves him. Do you know what he did with that love? Bucked her off.
No.
Okay? Love and kisses and cookies won't fix it by itself. It's a great half, but just like good cop, bad cop, just like that bipolar mom, you got to have both sides of the coin. You got to have both sides of the toast. You got to make sure that you are willing to be nice and be kind. So my kindness to him is everything that we do that he does what I ask, it's going to be asked kindly. It's going to be asked on a loose rein. It's only when he doesn't move that he gets that pressure. Very quickly, he respects me enough to try, and he thinks that I'm kind enough to be happy. Good cop, bad cop. You got to have both sides if you're going to be a good horse person. Any other questions?
Yes, have more, lots more. I'm trying to do them in order here.
All right, let's get it.
Saddle or no saddle during this drill?
If the horse rides, you can put a saddle on, but you don't need a saddle.
But you can use that saddle if you do the what to do when they fail first grade, right?
Right. A lot of different ways to do first grade. Just like everything else, We have so many ways to do it. This is the easiest, clearest way that we like to do that.
Okay.
So every culture that we go to, and I like to go, I'm a culture vulture. I like to go to every culture that's famous for horses. So I've been to Mongolia, been to Australia, rode in Mexico, rode in Canada, rode in Germany, rode in Spain. Anywhere that I can think of that they have good horse people, that's where I want to go ride with. With that being said, every time that I see a tool or a way to get something done, I bring it back in my toolbox. If it's clearer than what I'm doing, that's what I'm currently doing. If it's not clear, I remember it and put it in my toolbox. If you are a member, we have over 400 videos, and we show you all the different ways to do the same thing, which is really important. At the clinics and stuff, basically, unless a horse calls of it, I just show you the clearest way that I have at the moment.
Okay. So they did have access. They had access to what to do when your horse fails first grade and whirlybird. So I have a couple whirlybird questions.
Yes?
My lead rope is too short for the whirlybird, and my horse has a big butt. What are your suggestions?
Get a longer lead rope.
It's one of your lead ropes. Get a shorter horse?
It's not too long if it's one of my lead ropes.
Okay, cool. So if she's just holding on a little bit, can you show us the position you want that rope in?
Yes. I don't have a set of reins with me.
I might get one. Will you grab a set of reins, please? Pink if we have them, so we match them.
So the whirlybird, you have the reins here over the horse's neck, and you have the lead rope around their butt. So I would drive that horse around here. Need a set of reins to do it.
He's coming.
No horse alive is bigger than a 15-foot lead rope. If you can't hold on to the lead rope, we're doing something wrong. It has to be in the spacing.
Okay. He's going to grab that real quick. Answer another question for me. Will you also go through rope handling tips whenever you're doing the whirlybird?
Sure.
Okay.
So this horse here has never had the whirlybird done because he didn't need it. But it's a good exercise for him. I'm going to put the set of reins on like I'm riding. So when I was studying natural horsemanship and reading the books and watching the videos from Ray Hunt, I noticed that he tossed the rope over their butt and spin them around. But everything in horsemanship, and I really liked that, and I tried it. Actually, the first time that I tried it, I saw Ray Hunt do it on a colt. He just tossed the rope over their butt on a young colt and spun it around. I said, oh, that's awesome. I'm a cowboy. I could do that. I came and did that on a Paso colt. The rope touched his butt. He jumped forward 6 feet and put 2 feet right in my face. I learned not to do it like that anymore. So I would grab the rope or the reins and toss it over their butt. And then once they were fine, if they blasted off, I'd pull them into me. When they relaxed, I'd pull them away from me. Over the years, I got where I could start using the reins. So now we're going to do the whirlybird. I have the rope around the butt, and I have this doubled up here. So notice I have enough of his face here that I can pull him around. I'm going to use the inside hand, if I'm going to push him away from me, to push his head and pull on his butt. And ask this horse to step away from me. What I love about this is I'm standing over his shoulder, above his eye, but I don't have to put my body in jeopardy of being on his back. Then we can switch directions and pull him this way. Then we can switch directions and pull him this way.
So you want to keep the lead rope above his hocks to help keep it in position?
Keep it above his hocks to keep it in position. If you're having an issue with that, be aware that you don't get it caught in his tail because you could have an exciting moment. Switch. Again, for a long time, the best way that I knew how to do this was throw the rope over, boom, and that's one revolution. And then I would come back and pull again, and boom, that's another revolution. That's the evolution of horsemanship. I did that for years. I found a better way. I no longer do that. Now I want to do the whirlybird because I can do 10, 15, 20 circles where they're giving in a row. Everything about this, we're trying to evolve, we're trying to get better. So this is just moving the horse's butt, pulling them around their butt and having them turn around. And the 2021 version, more evolved.
How easy is it to mess up a horse with the whirlybird or square dancing if you feel like it's too advanced for you? Any suggestions for starting out?
Yeah, so you're not, so you can't mess up a horse. You can get stepped on, or you can let that horse push into you, which isn't awesome, but mess up a horse you can't do. Your horse should allow you to do these things. If moving them around is too advanced and there's dire repercussions, or the horse explodes or pops because you're not doing it right, you probably don't want to ride that horse. Because what if you make a little mistake under saddle? So that's kind of the same thing. I want to be able to do this where that horse, like this guy, that's the first time he's ever done it, but he's already in the mindset, okay, I'm not a criminal anymore. I promise I'm not going to buck anybody else off. Please, mama, come get me. I'll be a good boy, I swear. That's the mindset that we want. Just because we introduce something new, or we spook them with something new, or we shoot off their back for the first time, or we go chase a cow for the first time, we want that horse thinking, I don't know what this is, but I'll try. That's the mindset that we want the horse in. So you can't mess up a horse. You may not get the progress that you want if your timing's not there, or you're not getting enough bend out of the horse, but you can't mess up a horse.
I have another question. So what do you do if your horse is spooked or very nervous or tries to hurt you with the rope being around their butt? Great question. If this happens and they try to hurt you, have them bent to the inside, and whenever you goose them and they surge off and go forward, step to them and keep them in that circle around you. As long as they're facing you, their shoulder can't come into you. We're behind that shoulder. We're pulling their face our way, so they're not going to kick at us. And they're driving and engaged, so they're not going to run into you. Then we'll go the opposite direction. If you really have a horse that's really problematic about it, you might need to turn them with just the lead rope and not try to confine them once or twice. So I mean, if your horse is like, if you're just dealing with a horse that's super explosive, maybe once or twice to give the horse the idea. You come here, hold the inside, toss this over their butt, and you just pull them around once or twice. The whole idea of that is if they explode, they're not pulling on you, they're pulling on themselves, and they're turning away from you. So if you have to do that, which is very few and far between that I ever have to do that, the trick is to keep you safe. It's this inside line is the secret. Whenever you go to toss this around their butt, make sure they're bent to the inside, so if they explode forward, they just explode forward in a circle around you. As we progress through the Respect series, and as we start spooking horses and flagging them and tarping them and doing all these things, it's going to be the same thing. Do you know who the baddest fish in the ocean is? Do you know? I bet you think you saw it on Shark Week. Well, you're right. The baddest fish in the world is on Shark Week. The baddest fish in the world is a little sucker fish. Imagine seeing a great white, the king of the ocean, and seeing all those rows of teeth and looking him square in his face and saying, that's adorable. I'm about to ride the heck out of you. Not only am I going to ride you and you're going to take me all over the ocean, but you're going to bring me my food too. The way the suckerfish can have all the audacity to tell the king of the oceans that he's going to take him for a ride is that he's able to get where the shark can't threaten him. So you want to have the ability to get right here, the same way the suckerfish gets right under the shark's mouth. What the horse guru does to stay out of danger is if you get right here on this shoulder. If their face is pointing our ways, they can't strike us or bite us because this is where the danger zone is for that. They can't kick us because we have their face. So if he really wanted to kick us, he would have to take his face away from us. Well, if we're dead set and we don't let go of this rein, even if this horse was a big, monster, strong horse that could drag us, if he drags us to kick us, he's going to drag us one step out of the kick range. So we're not in the kick zone, and they can't strike us, they can't bite us. We're on the inside of their circle, so if they try to run into us, we put a hand right in his face. Very quickly, you're that suckerfish. You can look at the biggest, baddest horse, and if you can get that horse to back up and give you his face, you can look at him and say, I'm going to ride you. Perfect. I think I have 2 more questions on first grade for you real quick.
Awesome.
First question that I have for you, let me just do the one that I have here. I have a horse that puts its head super low during first grade. I think it's evasion, but she's still bending and giving.
If she's looking your way and she's moving those body parts, if you have any question about them, are they evading? Is their head so low that they're evading the pressure? The one time you could fix that is moving their butt. You could pick their head up. You could pick their head up and move their butt. Then you'll really see if they're evading or if they're really just trying to give the pressure. I never want to argue with horses that are trying to put their head down and be soft, because anytime, and you're going to see this, you're going to hear this 100 more times over this month, anytime this horse drops his head below his pole, below his withers, it releases an endorphin that kills adrenaline. It makes them relax. So that's why my goal with this horse and where we're at in his training is I want this horse to be able to gallop with his head down. Because I know if he'll do that, he'll never be able to run away with his owner. He's going to get soft. He's going to get easy. So it's all about putting their head down. So I'm not too worried about them putting their head down. But if you think it's evasion, pick their head up and move their butt around a time or two, and that'll tell you, is it soft and easy? If it's soft and easy, it's not evasion. If it's evasion, it'll be sticky and they won't want to give their butt.
Okay, perfect. Next one is, how does first grade differ from a broke horse to a colt start?
Great. So the difference in first grade, even on a colt start, I'm already thinking about what this horse has and I'm trying to get there. The difference is if they don't give and they don't understand, you may have to give that horse. Think about green horses, the margin of error is huge. You're giving that horse this huge margin of error. You're riding around with a complete loose rein. You're only grabbing him whenever he messes up. As that horse gets better and better, so this horse is already broke enough that I'm starting to get in real close and real tight and bending real hard and getting real, there's a very small margin of error for him doing first grade. The difference in a colt start is I might have to give him 10 feet to move forward and then in little increments start breaking his face loose, because if I pull his face around too much, he'll want to stop. So I might have to give him more forward. I might have to get him out there and say, hey, give me your face. Out there, give me your face. Out there, give me your face. And then as he gets more broke, then I start getting closer and closer, because you're going to be on top of that horse. So lunging that horse from 15 feet away, I mean, great, you're getting him to guy with his face, but I need to be here. This is where I'm going to be in the saddle. I'm going to be up and over him. So if I don't feel comfortable driving this horse around from right here, so to make up for the fact that you're not comfortable driving that horse and being right in his bubble, you're going to straddle him, doesn't make sense. So a lot of the stuff I see, like our long lining program, I see people long line from 25 feet away. Yes, absolutely. I have a horse that's trying to kill me, eat me, murder me. The first moment or two of the long line, I get them to the end of the long lines and have a conversation from 20 feet away. So your colt start, you may have to send that horse off at the end of the rope and pull their face and send them out and pull them back and send them off and pull them back. But very quickly, as soon as they start giving, we're getting closer and closer. So to answer your question, the greener horse is, the bigger the margin of error. Very quickly, we're making that margin of error smaller and smaller and smaller.
Okay. Miss Tripty just asked a question. So Tripty, that'll actually get covered when we move on to desensitizing. He will cover a drill that's going to help you with that. So that won't actually go in this section. The next question that I have for you is, now that you finished first grade and you're going to ask the horse to lower its head and introduce yourself and say hello, what do you do when you're having issues with that? Does that method work for every single horse? If the horse is showing resistance, what do you go back to ask again?
All right, so first and foremost, every single horse that I ride at a clinic drops their head. So we're talking 400 or 500 horses a year on a good year, drop their head. You don't know 400 or 500 horses right now, if you thought about it, that would drop their head for you. That's because very few horses are really that respectful and soft and easy. And if they were, they probably wouldn't be at my clinic, because people wouldn't be out there looking for help, because the horse would do everything they asked for. If the horse doesn't give me his face, first I'm going to do this. And the first thing that I'm going to try to do is grab by the nose band, pet on the forehead, 2 fingers here, my middle finger, my index finger right here on top of their bone, and ask for their head down. If I see them kind of bracing up, not only do I have 2 arms in front of me if this horse strikes me or bites at me, that I have space between us, but another thing that I'll do, so again, that Kentucky Mountain mare, that chestnut mare at this past clinic, she kind of braced up. I'll subtly step off center here and ask that horse to give. Now, if that horse strikes, I'm already off to the side. That's the first 2 things. But if that horse is just like, oh, hell no, I'm not going to drop my head, immediately, we're going to go back to kindergarten. I'm going to back that joker up across the arena. I'm going to back that joker up across the round pit. Then I'm going to send it off and get it soft left and right. Then I'm going to go back to kindergarten. Then I'm going to go back to first grade. But I'm going to do it in a way like, oh, you don't respect me? Let me earn my respect. The horse can't tell you any clearer. If they're picking their head up and they're standing their ground, they're looking at you like I'm looking at you. They're picking their chin up and they're like, nope, I'm not going to give. They can't tell you any clearer. I don't respect you. You're not the boss of me. Why would you ride a horse that you have to go searching for to put the bridle on? Why would you ride a horse that doesn't accept the saddle? Why would you ride a horse that they're dancing around for you to get on? Get that horse giving. Get that horse respectful. Have that horse saying, yes, sir. Namaste. Anything you say. I'll do whatever you want. Sure, no problem. If that horse is puffing up The problem is we're thinking about it in the wrong way. We're not thinking, it's just not registering because the laws of attraction, you haven't been made aware of it, so you don't see it. As soon as you get done with this horse help challenge, you'll go see your friends on a trail ride and you'll think, oh my God, Becky, you're gonna die. Because when you see that horse and their heads popped up and their feet can't stand still and they're not paying attention to you, they're looking here and they're yelling for horses that don't exist because they're in a new place. You think, somebody help her. Anybody help her. And people, since they don't know and they don't have a program, they'll just ride that horse. And then when the horse doesn't listen and inevitably they end up on the ground, it's the horse's fault. What I really want you to learn over this month is the warning signs, is the check engine light on. Is that right here, that horse, I'm ready to ride this horse wherever. Look how that horse is standing still. He's right there. He is waiting. Yes, sir. What can I do? That should be any horse. That horse should want to drop his head. And if he doesn't, go back and gain respect. Doesn't matter what the excuse is, if the horse has been ear twitched, if it's been abused, if it's missing an ear, if it has ear mites, or if it has none of that is a viable excuse. Every single horse. I've had horses at clinics that are missing an ear. I've had horses that have split ears. I've had horses that have ear mites jumping out of their ear. You get close to their head and the ear might say, no, and they start jumping. There's no excuse. If the horse respects you, they'll drop their head. Watch them with the other horses. That alpha mare will puff up and start rearing up and bumping into him with the shoulder, and you'll see the other horses drop their head and move away. If that horse is puffing up on you, if that horse is standing his ground, if that horse is not letting you touch his face, that horse doesn't respect you. Go earn your respect. Go gain your respect. In this life, respect isn't given away. It's earned. This is one of those things you got to go get. The horse doesn't care if you rescue them. The horse doesn't care how much money you paid for them. Have you earned their respect or haven't you? With that being said, the better trained your horse is, the easier to give away its respect, just like that little kid who says yes, sir, yes, ma'am to anybody that's older than they are because they're respectful because of their training. With that being said, you still have to go earn their respect.
Awesome. So with all of these drills, preschool through first grade, over desensitizing is not an excuse. They need to be willing to take it one step further with pressure to get that horse to move off, to respect them, to move out of their bubble.
Yeah, if they're just shutting down and not moving, it's because they're not respecting you. And they say, oh, if I just stand still, you'll act a little loci for a second and then you'll go away. There's a difference between desensitizing and getting the horse to move. You got to have, again, it goes right back to that bipolar, that flip of the switch. I think of training as a balance. I mean, life is a balance, but training horses is a balance. You have to have them respectful enough to move. You have to have them broken enough to stop. If you have control of the horse's head and their respect, they'll stop for you. If you have their respect, they'll move for you. You need both to make a disciplined horse. This natural horsemanship, it's not natural. There's nothing natural about a predator riding a prey animal with the carcass of another prey animal in between. That's like the most awkward sandwich that you've ever seen in your life, okay? Now I'm even thinking about it, it's like, yeah, it's weird. You've never seen a lion riding a zebra across the Sahara unless they're going to eat them. None of this is natural. I want this horse to be domesticated. I want this horse to be disciplined, to say yes, sir, yes, ma'am for anything that we ask. That's what we're looking for, and we're going to show you how to do that this month in this Horse Help Challenge.
And there was also a question if you guys are going to get to keep access to this over the 30 days. Yes, if you are a member or if you have paid to be a part of this Horse Help Challenge, we're going to let you guys keep access. So if you feel like you're behind, we don't want you to feel overwhelmed. We want you to feel like you're a part of this group. And we're also going to have another contest coming up very soon. It might be today, might be tomorrow. We're going to tag some friends to come join us because there's still plenty of time to get in on this and to share that knowledge. And we might give away a retreat spot. So pretty excited about that. We're posting
giveaways.
All of our new updated 2022 schedule is going to be released shortly. So we're super excited about that. And we just want to try to share and help as many people as possible during these 30 days. So thank you so much for all of your questions. Again, all of this is being recorded on another device with a microphone that's going to be very clear, which is awesome. So if this was a little bit breaking apart, you couldn't hear parts, you will have access to the full footage from that. So thank you guys so much. We will see you tomorrow for Kelsey's Corner as well as your daily challenge, and be looking forward to Zoom and our Horse Talk Live with you guys next week.
See you guys next week.
Thank you so much.